minimum wage. Did you hear about the UPS minimum wage that went up?
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that is that I don't think people understand that they could raise minimum wage to $100 an hour, but what they don't understand is they're going to pass off the cost to the consumer.
Right.
So
And
someone's paying for that. It's going to be the consumers. It's actually harming the consumer basically.
well, what I'll tell you is this: I'm kind of glad the UPS won that fight for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
Number one, it showed what can be done when people unite for a cause,
Yeah.
and they actually did it, and they actually united, and they were actually able to get what they felt they deserved. Whether you think they deserved it or not is a different story, but they wanted something, they united, they felt like they can get what they deserve, and good for them, man. Good for them. And people who are celebrating it, just know you're gonna pay a little bit more. But if you're okay with paying a little bit more, then everybody win. Everybody's happy,
Yeah.
right? The executives aren't gonna be starving at UPS.
No, for sure. I mean, they're going to probably make more money now.
Probably people are gonna probably buy more of their stuff.
Yeah.
150, 170 for deliveries. Good for them, man. Hey, look, no, good for them, bro. If you can do that without government involvement, I'm always for that. What a private business decides to do and how they decide to
They
do
have a union, right? It was a
yeah,
union.
there was a union, and what a business decides to do as a result of a union or not, without government involvement, whether you agree with it or not, I'm perfectly happy with that. That's the private enterprise handling their own business without government involvement to the point where everybody's happy, or the right people are happy at least, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with that. I know PBD was pretty upset about that.
Yeah. Because
So-
he's a business owner, so
Right, of
if it
course.
ends up trickling down to other people joining in, saying, "Hey, you know what? It worked for UPS. Why don't we do that?"
That's how it's technically supposed to be.
Yeah, but but it's going to affect overall the business owner because now he has to pay more, and if he passes it on to the consumer, and what ends up happening is if all the other companies start, hiring a minimum wage, it's going to come to a point where it's going to harm business owner, and then he's going to
I'm
might
okay
go out of
with
business.
I'm okay with all that as long as it's not government mandated. You know what I mean? Because at least businesses can still have a way to like negotiate and still kind of negotiate or change like the minimum the payments that they're paying the workers. Like they can renegotiate.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever your thoughts are, I just don't want government involvement with how
Yeah.
people get paid. And if people can handle it through unions and they get what they want, I am perfectly fine with that, dude. I am what now whether they deserve that much money or not, at the end of the day is this. They negotiated and they got what they wanted. Do we deserve how much we're getting paid with this YouTube money? We negotiated and you get what you want. So, yeah, congratulations to the UPS workers, honestly, for negotiating that. And I hope people do that instead of trying to vote charlatans in that say they're gonna do that and they didn't. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look how much more effective that union was instead of politicians. What does that tell you? How long would it have taken those guys to get 170, right? Or 150, or 155, whatever, if they did it through voting people in, waiting for legislation to get written up, waiting for legislation to hit the House, right, to hit Congress, waiting for legislation to go to the Senate, waiting for legislation to kick it back down to Congress because they wanted to add a provision, waiting for this people to kick it back to the Senate, waiting for it to go back to the executive branch, waiting for the president to sign. How we're still trying to have people legalize weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the federal level, yeah.
So I hope this shows people that government is not really that useful if you guys
To
ban
regulate, I think so, yeah.
to do anything.
You don't think so? At least regulations overall to protect?
Government is the most useful when they're being referees. You get what I'm
Okay,
saying?
Yeah.
Hey, put an air conditioner in the warehouse. And they're not even doing that right. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
So good job for UPS. I hope if people feel like they're not getting paid more, I hope that they do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want less government involvement and more. And look, some people don't vote, but they made the union and they made it work and they got what they wanted based off the union. You know what I mean? Like they were involved. People were involved in what was going on and they made something happen as a result.
Yeah.
I know you're not a big fan of it.
Nah, man. I'm just looking at it as I mean,
From a business standpoint, yeah.
from a business standpoint, it's like,
But if you make, let's say, $20 million, and now you're making $15 million after everything's said and done, are you really?
no, in this case, they're gonna be making way more than that, but it's gonna come down to the consumer, and I don't know if it's gonna be like affordable to certain people. You know what I mean?
Shipping and handling.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know how much it would change, but
I don't know. I think they'll be fine.
maybe for UPS it's all right. But if it happens for other places, like it might
They'll
affect
be
it.
fine, bro. They'll be fine. Worst case scenario, they have to, they got to adapt now to the new, and they'll be able to adapt. You know what I mean? They'll be able to
Yeah.
adapt. How is it possible that Arizona iced tea for a long time was being able to sell their iced tea for $1 for years?
Yo, is it still $1?
No.
Why it went up?
Yeah, it's like $1.15.
Since when?
For years, like
Really?
Yeah,
I always gotten for 99 cents. I think last time I got one was like 3 years ago. Maybe has it changed?
yeah, and it's like they were like, oh, we'll just drive at night, less traffic, less. Like the people, they innovate, they find ways to do things.
So now it's one something.
Yeah, last time I checked, yeah.
Damn.
So they find ways
Scoundrels.
to, they find ways to do something. You know what I mean? So good for them. Yeah, that's my issue with Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske and those guys. They don't really like free healthcare. Again, I want to go back to that. Like, I want to ask Kyle Kalinske, Kyle, do you think there should be such thing as taxpayer funded healthcare from one day to the next without reforming anything, without finding out why this costs what it costs? Number one. Number two, you think we should have taxpayer funded healthcare when people don't really exercise the way they do, and if people keep eating the way they do, and if people keep having certain lifestyles?
Wasn't I forgot what's the position in DC that said that it's because genetics that people are obese? Who said that?
Yeah, of course, and that's what's gonna happen. Some doctor, bro, like a nutritionist doctor. Like,
no, but I thought the doctor was part of some sort of position in
yeah,
DC.
yeah, whatever that woman's name is.
Yeah, so if you have people like that in power that are in charge of the health
Right.
something, you know.
Right. Co-signing bad behavior. Where it's like, oh, it's not diet, it's genetics. Like, wow, that's crazy.
That's
Places
insane.
places where people don't have enough food, they have better genetics because they don't gain weight. Like, duh, like these are the leaders.
Yeah,
These are the leaders, bro.
I think that needs to change first before, there's a reform.
I think people should stop listening to them. I think people should listen to people who, you see some guy at the gym, you see him working out or her working out, and you see that they look good. That's who you want to ask for advice. Not somebody in DC who's going to change the definition of what a diet is or how come people. You don't want to ask those people anymore. Clearly, they don't. Either they don't know what they're talking about, or they do know what they're talking about, but they got paid enough money to say something else.
Yeah, I think that's it. I
Yeah,
think that's it. They're just fooling people.
Yeah, speaking of talking.